I'm Jesse McAnally.
And I am Andrew DeWolf.
And I'm Brianna Jones.
And welcome to Musicals with Cheese, a podcast where I try to get Andrew and Bree to like musical theater. You know what?
What?
You guys aren't allowed to sit here, because on Wednesdays, we wear pink.
Fuck, Andrew. What are we gonna do?
I don't want to sit with this asshole anyways. Fuck him.
Let's go.
Yeah. Where are we going?
The mall to buy some shoes.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I got my burn book here, and you know what? Jess is a fugly cow. Oh my god, Principal, what's his name? Please, they're making fun of me. Look at this book. They're the only ones not mentioned. It says that I'm an ugly cow.
Wow, that's crazy that you have access to this book, and everyone knows that you're, like, the school bully, and, like, you're giving me this, and it has bad things written about everyone in the whole school except for two people that you're saying are the ones that wrote it. That's crazy.
Mean Girls! Cue the music.
If I could change the world, I'd make us have world peace and also Halloween every single day. On Halloween, we can pretend to be someone else. It's like the internet, only in person and with candy.
Mean Girls is a musical with music by Jeff Richmond and lyrics by Nell Benjamin, and a book by Tina Fey. It is based on the 2004 eponymous film written by Tina Fey as well. The musical premiered at the National Theatre, Washington, D.C. in October of 2017 and opened on Broadway in April of 2018 at the August Wilson Theater. Yeah, the musical, it's like Mean Girls. What the fuck else do you expect? Halloween. Oh yeah, it's Halloween. Cue the dance macabre and the lightning strike. Halloween month continues.
We really just ran out of spooky shows, didn't we?
This has a Halloween scene in it.
You know what? This show is pretty spooky. But
How
not
so?
for the reasons that you would think.
Oh no. Please elaborate, sir.
Well, we'll get into it.
All right, what's all of everyone's history with the Mean Girls film? Like, before we even go into the actual musical.
I've still never seen it. This is the only Mean Girls content I've ever seen.
Oh my god.
I think it's a classic. I love Tina Fey and anything she writes.
Well,
Except for this.
I liked it when I was younger. It has aged not as great as I would have liked. I will say that. I'm a little disappointed in it, and I feel like this musical tries to right all the wrongs that the movie quote unquote did, but at the same time it also kind of removes the teeth and fails to make it its own thing.
Yeah. You know what, I take it back. I've seen one scene from the movie. Jess sent me the scene where there's a gamer moment, and
The Asian girl says the N-word because
because that's funny.
yeah, in a movie all about white people, we're gonna throw the N-word in there.
Well, it's with no hard R though, so it's not a true gamer moment. But
Is that
I know,
really
but-
in there?
Yes, there's the moment where they're all in the gymnasium and, like, the Asian girls talk to each other in, like, a foreign language and the subtitles say the N-word.
I did not know that. That's wild.
yeah.
It's one of those cringe moments, and one of those other times in Tina Fey's content where she very much wants to deal with race, but coming from a white woman's perspective on race. Like, it's hard to see the Tracy Jordan character in 30 Rock and not be like, that is a white
Yeah.
woman's approximation of what a black man acts like.
Right. Okay, I take back what I said about loving everything she writes. I don't.
Tina
And,
Tina Fey is famous for being Sarah Palin, right?
I mean, that's one of several things, yes.
Yeah, very soft like interpretation of Sarah Palin, where it's like a mild parody.
I mean, in all fairness, she was not a cast member on SNL at that point. She was brought back just because she kind of looked like it, and she didn't do any of the writing for those. She just kind of was brought on to say the lines. Like, you can't blame her for that any more than... Yeah, and I can't blame her for that for any more than I can blame a SNL host for what's done there.
Fair, that's
if that
fair.
makes sense.
SNL has a bad political record anyways, so it's fine.
Oh yeah, they might be partially responsible for who we have in office at the moment. So,
Yeah.
isn't that great?
Well, they had him on to host the show, isn't that right? That was cool.
Right before, like a year before he was elected, he was the host of the show where they made him seem likable and approachable.
Hey, but they lightly mocked him a few times. I mean, come.
I mean, yeah, come on. There's no way that could do anything damaging and unredeemable that might lend to the death of over 200,000 people. Thanks, Lauren Michaels.
It's not like this person would be able to appoint 3 justices to the Supreme Court.
Oh, no.
There's no way that would happen.
No. So, Andrew, tell us what happens in Mean Girls. What is the plot of Mean Girls?
Mean Girls is well, okay. The main character is the new kid to the high school, come from Africa, I guess. I don't know where in Africa. Do they say Kenya? South Africa?
Kenya, I think.
Kenya. Okay.
And they cut the line like, if you're from Africa, why aren't you black?
Well, that's because that's a very stupid line that shouldn't be in there.
Yes, it was. But didn't stop a bunch of fucking idiot kids in my elementary and high school saying it all the time.
Christ.
South Africa.
I forgot when this movie came out. I haven't seen it in so long.
2004 was a whole different world, guys.
It was. God.
We've all grown, and that's what's important. And we will continue
Tina
to grow.
Fey's now actively asking for them to take down the blackface episodes of 30 Rock. So, yeah, she's grown.
Yeah. Although, why she thought blackface would be a good idea in general.
Well,
Because it's funny, apparently. Everyone in the early aughts thought blackface was the funniest fucking thing in the world, apparently.
It's true. I remember one time when I was going as a Halloween costume, I was just like, you know what would be funny? Blackface. And now I'm the Prime Minister of Canada, so it's cool.
And you got reelected. Congrats, dude. That was not a deal killer, if you think about it.
Okay, yeah. But African girl moves, white African girl moves to America. That's important, obviously. It's actually not important. They really never even bring it up. But
it was more important, and there's a lot of metaphorical stuff they try to play with it. They did a better job in the movie than in the musical, but it is kind of still there.
Well, there's like the two like narrators, kind of, that are also
Janice
characters.
and
Damien.
Damien, yes, played by Gray Henson.
But those two become friends with the new girl and they somehow convince her to like try to make friends with these mean girls that are bullies.
You said the title.
I said the title. I described the plot accurately. That means, right? But the new girl becomes, what is her name?
Katie Herring.
Katie becomes friends with the mean girls.
Regina, Gretchen, and Karen.
Yes. And then she falls in love with this guy, but he's like...
Aaron Samuels, Andrew.
He's the
Put respect on that name.
He's the ex-boyfriend of Regina, who is the meanest of the mean girls. And they get back together because Regina just doesn't like Katie being with him, I think, is the implication.
She doesn't like the idea of it.
Yeah. So then Katie hatches a plan together with Janice and Damien. They all hatch a plan together to get back at Regina by making her fat.
And then making people fat shame her.
Yeah. And then Regina decides to get back at them by giving a book that she wrote over to the principal and say that they wrote it, which I guess is something that the principal just accepts, like, no question. Well, I guess. And the principal's then like, wow, that's so rude. And
they also cut out the child molesting gym teacher subplot.
Wow, you didn't have to bring that up, Jess. That's a downer.
That was in the movie.
Oh my goodness, what is in this movie?
2004 were different times.
I like how Bree is falling more and more out of love with this movie as
like
we
Legally
talk.
Blonde. We're gonna have to bring back the Ace Ventura discussion.
Yeah, I really have not seen the movie since, I don't know, 2008.
But yeah, there's a gym teacher who was having sex with all the underage women, and that was one of the things in the burn book. Then The principal had to, like, a line is, Coach Shepard, step away from the underage girls.
But everything else in that book is just mean things. Why did he take that one seriously?
Well, the thing is, they did an investigation, and they were like, okay, that turned out to be so real, so we have to take the idea that that other teacher was a pill pusher equally as seriously, because if that one's as accurate as that is also as accurate as it is.
Ugh.
It was a slightly important plot point, but also it's like, cringe, I don't like this. This is too real for me.
Hey, guys.
In this teen comedy.
You know what's hilarious? Sexual assault on minors.
Grooming children is the greatest joke of all, Tina Fey says.
Who is this Tina Fey person? She is canceled.
They've tried. I feel like she's uncancelable. She did this show called The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt where she just did a lot of Asian stereotypes too and got called out for that. And she's like, well, I feel like we can't make fun of anything anymore.
I feel like we can't make fun of racial stereotypes anymore. It's terrible.
God, you guys are just so Tina Fey. Maybe it's time to
Tina Fey's having a serious gamer moment right now. It's really
it's either... No, J.K. Rowling is having a gamer moment. She's having the ultimate gamer moment.
Okay, did I say what the end was?
No.
The ending is that she joins the Mathletes. It feels like it should have ended like 3 songs before, but she joins the Mathletes and then that's the end. And I guess the moral is that being good at math is better than being popular.
And Regina George got hit by a bus.
Yes, that's important. She got hit by a bus.
Yes, which I guess means that all is right in the world and proves the existence of God. Thank you.
God exists in the Mean Girls universe. As you can tell, we didn't love this show.
I'm not a huge fan. A huge fan.
This is coming from a Mean Girls agnostic and myself, Andrew, who's never seen it, a non-believer, and Bree, who loved the film. Yeah, a Mean Girls atheist, and a devout Mean Girls fan in Bree.
Not a devoted Mean Girl fan.
Just a Mean Girl?
Just I'm the Mean Girl. Do you see me? I'm blonde. I'm mean.
Legally blonde?
She's Regina George. Let's give her an eating disorder, guys.
Hey guys, let's make her
done that.
It's so fucked up. That's a thing people do in this show.
They give the actress a fat suit, right?
Yeah, they do.
It's great.
It's so funny because I haven't seen this movie since I was a kid. That like listening to you guys talk about it, I realize how problematic it is. And I'm like, fuck, I need to go reevaluate the movies I liked as a kid.
Look, if you think it's funny, it's whatever, just accept
like
that it's
humor is subjective.
Yeah.
Just accept that all your political opinions are wrong and you're basically a fascist. That's all we have to do.
No. And the thing is, you should not feel bad about enjoying things when you were younger and all that thing. So, like, as long as you realize, like, this is not a reflection of life and this is not how one should behave, you're allowed to enjoy whatever the fuck you want.
But
we should not be policing what people like. We
boy,
should be policing what people create.
To talk about the politics and things, though.
Yes, and I know you want to talk a lot about the politics of Mean Girls the musical, Andrew.
Has anyone ever used the word liberal feminism, right? Everyone knows that?
You've definitely used it on this podcast.
People know what it means, right?
I'd like you to elaborate in case someone doesn't.
I mean, my interpretation of it is it's basically feminism that doesn't actually address any of the problems and give real solutions. It rather just goes, man, isn't it great that minorities exist? And that's it. Like, that's as far as they go. Like, yeah, that's about all.
It's not even like that they're giving them a platform. It's just they exist too.
Yeah. And like
that's the main difference.
This show is like the embodiment of it. It's like there's like a minor black character who exists simply to say like one thing about how like black people are prettier than white people and haha. And it's like, okay, why do you're not a character. What?
And that goes back to read that article written by Heath from Great Comet that's like, yeah, there are a lot of black bodies on stage on Broadway, but they're not black voices. They are literally just puppets for white ideals.
Yeah. And it's not just that racial element either. I mean, they have a character who like pays lip service to being gay but is never explicitly said to be. In a way, it's
Which one are you talking about? We got two of those.
Yeah, there's two of them, and I'm honestly not convinced either of them are gay. I'm not sure they didn't want to like say it outright that they were, unless I'm missing. Did I miss a scene? Did they say it?
I'd say that Damien is gay because he says that he's been in love with men before.
Okay, that one I was talking more about the Janice though, who several times is referenced as a lesbian, and she never says she isn't, but she also never says she is, which is fine. But like when you're doing it in this way where it's kind of like you're paying lip service to being progressive, but you're not
representation.
But you're not actually doing anything with it. You're doing nothing. Like, so you're really not helping to solve the problem. You're just kind of acknowledging that it's there and then moving on.
And in all fairness, that was not signed crowbarred into the musical. That was in the original movie as well.
Yeah, which actually sounds like it's worse in the movie because the movie also seems to perpetuate some problems on top of doing that.
Yep. I think this handles it a little better because they kind of flesh her out as a character a bit more. And I feel like a lot of the criticism of the film was that Janice kind of was the ultimate mean girl manipulating every side of it, and then that no one held her accountable to that. Because I do believe that was Tina Fey's self-insert character, where this is what I'd do in that situation, and then everyone's like, that character is equally mean, if not worse than all the other ones. And then she's like, oh shit. And so when she sat down to write this musical, she's like, all right, we're going to put a little blame on her, but she's still the funny one that everyone likes.
Are you talking about Janice?
Yes.
Yeah, to be honest, I found it really jarring at the end where, like, she does that whole thing where it's like, oh, we should just all get together. And it turns out that Katie was just as mean as Regina, and that's terrible. And it's like, but even at the beginning of her own speech, she's like, yeah, I was the one who created this plan to do all this stuff. It's like, you ruined her. Like, Katie was a totally nice person, and then you got to her and you were like, you should fuck with these other girls. And, like, you did that!
And I feel like her feet aren't held to the fire very much in this musical,
like,
or in the movie at all. Because, once again, I think that's Tina Fey's self-insert character, and she wouldn't want that to be criticized.
Yeah.
Because as much as I do think Tina Fey is very talented, I feel like she is also very fragile with her ego and doesn't like being called out. She's taking it a lot better more recently, but there is evidence to prove that when people say, I don't like this or this is bad, she immediately reacts with, nuh-uh, you don't get it.
I feel like a lot of comedians do that, but...
I don't get why comedians, like, they act like they got, like, the thickest skin around, but if you criticize them even one bit, they react insane, like, they have gamer moments.
Like, yeah. I mean, some of them have legit gamer moments.
Yeah, like Kramer. Kramer had the ultimate gamer moments.
Straight up says the gamer word.
Don't say the gamer word, guys.
No, seriously, don't.
Yeah.
No, a lot of comedians are like that. I think maybe it comes with the territory. I don't know. Like when your whole job is to make a room of people laugh, when people start turning on you, it's like you start panicking. You know, that's your whole career.
I mean, the first one that's jumping to mind is Jerry Seinfeld. Like anytime he gets criticized, he starts getting angry.
Yeah. And
Chris Rock recently is just like, you kids don't understand nothing.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, it's like that Principal Seymour Skinner thing, like, oh, it's not me that's wrong, it's the kids.
Yeah. Let me talk a little bit about the Tony year that this was nominated in.
Sure, what do you got?
So everyone thought this was gonna be a big sweeping musical. Everyone had all their bets on this, thinking it was gonna fucking be great. It's gonna be the new Book of Mormon. It's gonna be the new producers. It's gonna be the new big comedy show.
Yeah.
and it decidedly was not. I don't think we had a really good sweeping comedy show until Beetlejuice, honestly, which was an underdog hit, but became a hit eventually.
And then got removed from Broadway.
Yeah, thanks, Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman. This show has made me hate Hugh Jackman.
I mean, Hugh Jackman is also best friends with Ivanka and Trump and Jared Kushner. That made me hate Hugh Jackman.
Oh, I didn't actually know that, but yeah.
But so this was nominated in like almost every category: orchestrations, choreography, direction, sound design, costume design, original score, book of a musical. Guess how many it won?
None.
Correct. But they changed the entire Tony order to try to fit in Tina Fey because they were so convinced she was going to win Best Book. So they got rid of like Best Orchestrations and Best Score to try to make Best Book to be the one that gets the on-air Tony Award speech, because you can only fit so many on, and the other ones they just air during the commercials.
How embarrassing.
And then the guy who fucking wrote the band's visit goes up there. Thank you, I wrote this, I love my book. And they're like, fucking Tina Fey, goddamn.
Tina Fey, can you come up and talk about his book?
Accepting the award for the person who did the band's visit is Tina Fey.
Yeah, his book was great. Also,
my book was okay too, you know.
My book almost won, actually.
I was nominated. That was a little Ben Shapiro coming out there.
I was this close to winning. Oh yeah, I can't help the Ben Shapiro. I can't keep him in. He just wants to talk.
So let's talk a little bit about our own experiences in high school. Did we get bullied? Were there girl groups in our high school?
Well, I was always very catty and crass when I was in high school. So one could say I was the mean girl.
Did you not let people sit next to you unless they were wearing the right clothing?
I wouldn't sit next to anybody. That's how mean I was.
No one was allowed at my table. It was that exclusive.
I sat at the table, and whoever even tried to come to that table, I told them, get out of here. And you know how many times I said get out of here in high school? Not once.
They knew what they were getting into.
Yeah, they didn't even bother coming over to my table and trying to sit with me.
Damn, son. What about you, Bree? Were you a part of a mean girl group?
No, definitely not. You knew who I was friends with in high school.
Oh yeah, Jenna, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jenna's the nicest girl.
Yeah, so no, I went to Lincoln Park High School. You know, it was just weird.
In the end, it doesn't even matter.
They had a MTV show called Wait Till Next Year. It was about our horrible football team.
Damn.
Why did they get a show?
Because they hadn't won a game in like 9 years or 10 years.
Wow.
So they got a TV show for being terrible?
Yeah, so basically it was a show on MTV that followed our football team in hopes that they would win that year.
And I guess they didn't.
No, they didn't. So
that's hilarious fucking Christ.
It's on MTV still. I think you can find it.
It's like that episode of SpongeBob where Patrick wins a trophy for doing nothing longer than anyone else.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a really weird experience, but there was really not much going on at Lincoln Park High School. There wasn't any mean girls. There wasn't like the jocks. There was no cliques.
I feel like that's our generation. Like all the Zoomers and the Boomers and all that, they have their cliquey bullshit. Like, and I feel like most of us, which were like late millennials, and like we're mostly like, hey, we're all fine. Oh, you're nice.
Yeah, like you were friends with everybody.
Friends with everybody. Yeah, that was me.
Or not with nobody at all. I'm sorry, Andrew.
Well, I went to a cheaper high school. I was very close to Detroit. Romulus, which is a city that doesn't even exist, really, if you think about it.
If you think about it.
It was a ratio of like people of color 70 to like 10% other and like 20% white.
Jess is a minority.
I was a minority there, and it was kind of great. It really was a wonderful way to go to school because everyone was so nice.
Yeah, my high school was incredibly diverse, and it was a great environment to grow up in.
I don't think I've seen a black person before.
Really? Are you?
I'm trying to remember. Actually, though, where I was...
Then it turned out it was just Justin Trudeau.
Where I went to high school, I think there was like maybe it had to be like 99% white. It was really that bad.
It's a depressing way to live. I'm not gonna lie. Anytime I'm in a room and it's mostly white people, I gravitate towards the one person of color because I don't like white people.
Jess is a confirmed liberal feminist.
I am a liberal feminist. All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we go into a mid-show? I know one thing.
What do you want
It's
to talk
time
about?
for our favorite segment of the show. It's Bree's Views, where we get to hear what the New York theater critics got to say about Mean Girls and compare it to what Andrew and Jess had to say.
I'm sure they have a lot of nice things to say about this show.
Well, let's go.
Okay, so today on Bree's Views,
Are we going to visit our friend Ben Brantley again?
we sure are. Okay, so David Rooney in his review for The Hollywood Reporter wrote, if the songs composed by Faye's husband, Jeff Richman, with lyrics by Nell Benjamin, more often fall into workman-like pastiche than inspired musical storytelling, too seldom developing robust melodic hooks, and the score at least wins points for democratization. Every one of the principals gets a musical moment that tells us who they are, both the protective outer shell developed to survive this savage jungle of high school, and the tender human core yearning to connect. While the show's book outshines the score, the songs pack in their share of wit, both in Benjamin's nimble lyrics, recalling her work on the Legally Blonde musical, and Richmond's buoyant tunes, which borrow with a wink from a variety of styles. The New York Times reviewer, Ben Brantley, wrote...
Motherfucker!
Rip. The trouble lies in the less assured translation of Miss Faye's sly take on adolescent social angst into crowd-pleasing song and dance. Mr. Richmond and Miss Benjamin's many, many musical numbers are passable by middle-of-the-road Broadway standards, yet they rarely capture either the tone or the time of being a certain age in a certain era. The show weighs in at 2.5 hours as opposed to the movie's zipping 97 minutes. It is very long.
I feel like comedy musical. Say what you will about Be More Chill, but that's like less than 2 hours.
You know what I'll say about Be More Chill? It has like the same plot as this.
Except done better, because at least that had something interesting to say and an interesting way to do it.
Yeah, and they had the cool like sci-fi stuff. Yeah, I would rather watch that than this.
Anyone should rather watch Be More Chill than this.
Oof, it's true though.
But no, Mean Girls is the one that's still on Broadway, technically. It's the one that financially succeeded because name recognition.
That's all you need is name recognition.
I mean, as sad as that is, that's it.
Yeah, that's
Do you
why
agree with the
Hamilton did
critics?
so well. Do I agree with the critics? I feel like these two reviews are actually kind of in opposition to each other, but I'm gonna actually agree with our boy Ben Brantley here.
Oh my god. It's fucking monster.
It's too long and the songs are kind of lame, uninspired.
It goes to show how much of what was great about Legally Blonde came from the music and not the lyrics.
Yeah. And I
Now,
think Legally Blonde just has a more interesting concept. I mean, how many shows are about high school cliques? It's just like, it's such a boring like idea. Like High School Musical does this shit, like, you know?
And I think High School Musical did it better, because at least that was, like, trying to have something to say.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was actually trying to have anything to say, but it did have something to say, sort of. I don't know, Legally Blonde actually has, like, the whole law and the mystery aspect to it a little bit. The court case is kind of interesting. I don't know, there's a bit more going on to that than this. This is just, it's just Mean Girls.
Can we talk a little bit about Heathers before we go into a mid-show?
Yeah. Why don't you do it? Because I think you're the one that has everything to say about this.
Well, no, this is mostly, I'm going to draw you a fucking diagram here.
Draw me a picture.
I will. So, Heathers came out in the 80s. It was a film, and it was written by, I think his last name was Waters. Daniel Waters. So we have the Heathers movie, which is going to be this dot right here. That's the Heathers movie right there.
Okay, so there's a dot, and that's the movie.
That is the movie. And then his brother decided he was going to go direct Tina Fey's script of Mean Girls. And that is there, right there. So we got the Mean Girls to Heathers, and they're related by blood, the two writers.
Okay.
Okay? Then we're going to go in the other direction where Heathers was adapted into a musical in 2013 or 2014, starring the actress that plays Janice as Veronica Sawyer, the main lead of Heathers. So we're going to have the Heathers musical right there. And that was written by Lawrence O'Keefe and Kevin Murphy. And now, over here in its own little bubble, we're going to have the Legally Blonde musical that was written by Lawrence O'Keefe and his wife, Nell Benjamin. So that's all the way over there.
Now, for reference, Jess is drawing a penis.
So the Heathers musical was then adapted... well, no, because Mean Girls is a spiritual successor to Heathers.
Okay.
They're basically the same movie, except Heathers did something more interesting by dealing with suicide, sexual assault, and school shootings, basically. It took the idea of high school cliques and been like, what if it could have a body count?
Yeah, what if someone brought a gun into school and then fired it and then nothing happened because it was the 80s?
Yes, basically. So, yeah, then it all ties together but in this big old fucking circle of nonsense.
That's not... Jess, you didn't even draw a circle.
I did. What I'm saying is these are all symbiotic circles. They all sound the same, and Heathers is always the better one, whether it's a ripoff of the movie or a ripoff of the musical.
So basically what you're saying is Tina Fey is not nearly as good as Daniel Waters.
I'm not saying that, but Daniel Waters did write Batman Returns, which is the best Batman movie.
That's true. That's a fact.
So I'm saying that Daniel Waters could write Mean Girls. Tina Fey could not write Batman Returns.
I am also saying that Batman Returns should get a musical.
More deserving of the Batman film. But it bothers me that Heathers is so good and never made it to Broadway. But Mean Girls got fast-tracked because of the name recognition of Tina Fey. Despite Heathers being a significantly better show that's based on a significantly better movie.
Yeah, but I'll be honest, I've never heard of the Heathers movie until we did the episode, whereas I've heard of Mean Girls even though I've never seen it.
Well, that's just a generational thing, where there's like a 20-year difference.
Yeah. Well, life isn't fair, Jess.
You're right. If it was, SpongeBob would still be running, Beetlejuice would still be running,
And this
Be
would
More
not.
Chill would still be running, and Mean Girls would have closed before opening night.
Yes. Time for a
How about we
mid-show.
go into a mid-show?
Hell yeah. Hello, everybody. Today's show is brought to you by the extremely kind donations by our donors at Patreon. Jess, why don't you tell us about Patreon?
Patreon's a place where we have a bunch of shit. I'm not sure how it went, but we just had our monthly Patreon hangout where we played games and stuff.
Jess was fucking trashed. Like, you really should have been there.
I don't think I was. I'm willing to bet I wasn't this time.
Jess was so trash. Just go on Twitter and check. He was fucking wasted.
I'm sure everyone's going to be like, Jess, you were so professional and so nice. This hasn't happened yet when we're recording this.
Jess was fucking wasted. It was amazing.
But if you're a $10 and up patron, you get to hang out with us, all three of us, and sometimes more. We had a guest, and maybe two. I don't remember. I was so drunk, maybe.
Just can't even remember last night. It's crazy.
But we also have commentaries. We have an entire separate podcast called Patreon with Cheese. Currently, we're talking about Fosse Verdon on there. Actually, we might be done with Fosse Verdon by the time this comes out, if the math equals out right.
No, I think the last one just got posted, so it's still relevant.
Cool. All right, but you know who's supporting us on Patreon, Andrew.
Yeah, go for it.
We got Melissa Goldman, Terry Needleman, John Donna, Max Lunig, Benjamin Lara, Lily Ackles, Haley McDonald, Jess the Stampede, Ewan Cassidy, Cass Skeeter, Fire of September, Monica Thoreau, Mina Maneri, Brent Black, Haley Murray, Allison Wonderland, B-Way Flicks, Kyle, Christina Francis, Jess A, Skylar, Liz Lim, Colery Wilmarth, Allison Stuller, Nothing is Certain except Beth and Taxes, Elizabeth, John Vanals, Nathaniel Stacy Coombe, Joseph Evans Green, Carrie Ahern, Irigale Jouet Whiter, Christine Malmedel, Cole Birchfield, Mary Lou Choquette, John Vanals, I said Holly Stistically, Russ Walker, Musical Hell, Emily Gracie, Andrew Van Barson, Emily Stack, Tablam, Kyle Summers, Janae C, Thespian, Ren Cullen, Alex, Jamie Holland, Wait in the Wings, Lady Malvolia, Spectacle Machine, and Will Lowery. They give us a little extra financial support that helps us keep the lights on here at Musicals with Cheese. And keep Bree employed, and we like giving Bree money. Like, that's just the best thing in the world. If you would like to join them in supporting us and get tons of fun perks, such as patron-only commentaries, our episodes a day earlier, even earlier, and video versions of the podcast, come join us there. Also, we've got merch. If you want to buy our merch, check the link in the description, or you can go to our website, musicalswithcheese.com, and click the merch button. All right, let's get back to the show. Let's talk about It Roars.
It Roars, the jungle song?
The I Want song. Andrew, God, you should know better than this.
Oh, sorry.
Did you ever get a feeling everybody else is happy? Everybody else has friends, and they're better friends than yours. It's a very recent feeling, but it's running through my body, and it roars. It roars.
Binti, we've lost our funding and we're gonna have to go back to the US.
Maybe I could meet an obese person.
It's gonna be a difficult adjustment. You'll have to go to a real school.
Mom, I would love that. Let's all try something new. We live in a tent. Adventure's what we do.
True.
I got no time to cry. I got new things to try. Like high school and skateboard and rapping and Starbucks venti chai.
Well, it's fine. What do you think of this? Because honestly, I didn't get a huge impression from the music in this. I remember the cool costumes they did with the ostriches and the zebra poop.
It sets up a motif that high school is a lot like the jungle, so they start off by showing the kids as the jungle animals and slowly become the kids. And throughout the show, they will still be represented as the animals throughout, and they will occasionally move like birds or like giraffes and shit despite being humans.
Yeah.
It was used to great effect in the movie. I will say that the director did a very, very good job with that in certain sequences, but here it just kind of feels out of place.
They don't really go hard enough on it, but
It's just like Gretchen will make a bird noise every now and then, and it's obnoxious.
yeah, I didn't even catch that, to be honest. I just thought she was making weird noises.
It's like she's a bird, get it? 'Cause Africa.
I guess maybe if I had seen the movie, I would have expected that was what they were going for with it, because I didn't really even catch that.
Yeah. Also the idea that she just kind of wants to be friends. She doesn't ring true of the character that Lindsay Lohan plays in the movie. She rings more true to Kimmy Schmidt from Tina Fey's newest show, where she's kind of, which is about a girl that's been trapped in a bunker since she was a child and then is released, and basically has the mindset of a 12-year-old. And I feel like that's what Katie has, and it's not an engaging way to start a character, not gonna lie, where they feel like they're borderline like unable to connect with people.
Well, they're making it out as if she had lived like literally in the jungle with no human contact whatsoever for like years, which maybe,
I mean, yeah, and like her only contact with like animals, except for the boy that she had a crush on that ran away from her fast because Africa.
yeah, because Africa.
Yeah. I didn't say they got rid of all the problematic shit, but
Well, yeah. What did you think of the zebra poop? That was funny,
it was
right?
fine. No,
was
I don't find
hilarious.
poop isn't funny, guys.
She left some of it on the floor, and I got a little upset.
Why does the zebra get to take a poop during the show, but if I have to take a poop in the show, like
You
I
have to
get
go to the
yelled at?
bathroom. Yeah. Well, this is
I just
why
want to poop on the stage.
just take 2 poops before the show. You're going to be all set.
Yeah. Do you want to explain to Bree the 2 poops thing?
I don't think the 2 poops thing has ever come up.
No, not in a good while. You
Well,
should
during
explain it.
extremely long shows such as Mean Girls, which goes on for almost 3 hours, generally speaking, you'll have to go to the bathroom. And if you go to the bathroom on Broadway, you're going to be waiting in a very long line because everyone goes during the intermission. So what you should always do is take some laxative before the show and take 2 poops at the start, so you won't have to go halfway through.
That's kind of smart.
It's very smart.
Yes, it is
If
a
you go-
method that we go by.
Yeah, if you go to musicalswithcheese.com/merch, we have the Musical with Cheese emergency musical kit, and it comes with laxatives built into the kit, so you can actually use that to take the 2 poops.
You gotta make sure to take it well before the show. You gotta digest it so you're not pooping twice during the show.
If you poop twice during the show, you may get kicked out of the theater.
We are living in COVID times, though, so no one really has to go to the theater right now.
You're right.
That's true.
Theaters don't exist. Theater isn't a thing. Why do we even do this podcast if theater doesn't exist, guys? And the theater makers hate the way that we watch them right now, the fucking bootlegs.
You know what? It's all for the best, because I hated this show.
Let's go on to Meet the Plastics.
Oh, yes. The song introducing the Mean Girls.
Called The Plastics.
Yep, in reference to, I assume, Barbie dolls?
Because they're shallow, fake, and hard, I think is the exact line.
Yeah.
Whoa, who's at that table there?
Don't look at them, just don't! We call those three the plastics. They're shiny, fake, and hard.
They play their little mind games all around the schoolyard.
They might insult your clothing or make fun of your name.
Like they mocked Jen Moorcock till she burst into flame.
And Miss Moorcock was a teacher.
Regina George is the queen bee. She's always dressed up. She always wins Spring Fling Queen. We're just drones who work for her, then die.
This song felt like it lasted for 10 years. Did it?
I think it may. I feel like it might actually still be going on. I'm not...
It did, because there's like a bunch of dialogue that interrupts the middle of it, and then you're like, oh, the song was, oh, nope, we're back again.
Yeah, that sucked.
It's hard to talk about the music in this, because I feel like a lot of it was like
It's
same
samey.
song. Yeah, and
The
I
only
feel like
ones that really stand out are Damien's song.
I think that there's a lot of problems in, like, this is a very recent show, right? This is like 2018.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of these recent musicals have this issue. Like, Be More Chill and Dear Evan Hansen sound identical to each other.
I disagree. I think Next to Normal and Dear Evan Hansen sound a lot more similar, where Be More Chill has a lot of that electronic sound in it.
The songwriting
kinda
is
makes it
very
stand out.
similar, and I feel like this kind of fits into it too. This sounds like so many other things we've already heard before. Like, it's just like a pop rock show, and it's just...
But what makes something like Legally Blonde stand out? Because I remember every song in Legally Blonde, and they all sounded distinct despite being centralized.
You know, I don't honestly know, and I feel like with something like that, it may just be better storytelling that's making you remember the songs, and less, like, better music. But when you have a show like this, where the story itself is, like, kind of uninteresting, then it's kind of leaning on the music to pick it up and, like, make it better. And when the music also fails, it's just like, oh.
Did you ever watch 30 Rock, Andrew?
I have not.
So Jeff Richmond, who is the composer of this and Tina Fey's husband, composed every episode of 30 Rock, and he has a very similar style, like, and he went on to compose Kimmy Schmidt, and they sound interchangeable, the scores. And it's like bouncy, to steal Ben Brantley's term, gummy bear. And here, I just feel like he got stuck in his ways, and the times where it really does stand out is like either Damien's song, where it's like an actually fun number, or Regina's songs, where it actually sounds like a fucking Disney villain.
I mean, I wonder if it's that maybe it's because he didn't have anything to work with material-wise to, get inspired to make better songs. Because the two songs you're citing are songs that are specific to a character that actually has personality, and then he wrote the songs to fit that. Whereas if you're writing songs about Katie and the Mean Girls, like, what is there to say?
One's dumb, one's weird.
Yeah, and he did that too. When the dumb one gets a song, he does that slow kindergarten style melody.
Yep,
which is kind of weird, and I really don't like that
trope.
That trope of whenever there's three people, one of them is dumb.
Which one am I? We got three people here.
All right. Well, I'm the dumb one, I think.
Who's the hot one?
That's also me.
I'm Gretchen Wieners.
fun fact, I don't think Bree knows this. The first time my girlfriend ever met Bree, she had much bigger, shorter hair, and my girlfriend just turns to me and she's like, her hair's so big because it's full of secrets.
Oof. What does that mean?
Really?
What does that mean? All right, Apex Predator.
I love that.
Apex
I liked
Predator,
Apex
Jess.
Predator.
I like Apex Predator too.
I feel like this
but...
is the song I can remember the most because I think they actually got like a real melody going that's like catchy.
And they got a singer with a distinct voice because all the other singers kind of sound alike, where Barrett Wilbert Weed has this very intense voice.
I think I'd be protected by my new exotic pet. Not a chance if she suspected I was any kind of reproductive threat. But she doesn't know yet. No, she doesn't know yet. She's the queen of beasts at this beastly school. Gotta keep things cool with the Apex Predator. So I'm kind of friends, but you're kind of prey. Jesus, what a day with the Apex Predator. Will she braid your hair? Will she eat your heart? How can you outsmart the Apex Predator?
It's good. This is the best one, in my opinion.
I think I like a couple others a little more, but I get why this is your best one. I think it's just a personal taste thing for me. And also, not a lot of story is spat out here. It's just like, I discovered Regina doesn't have my best interest. Oh no.
Yeah.
We all knew that.
Can we talk about the What's Wrong With Me song for like a second here?
Oh, fuck it. If you want, say what you want. Jesus Christ. Okay, go.
Tell me who we hate today, and I will fall in line. Hug me while my shoulders tense, and we'll pretend we're fine. Though we both know one day there'll be blood on the floor. But which one will betray the other more? What's wrong with me? Where's my mind? Where does it end? Maybe I need to find a better friend. What's wrong with me? What can I do? What's wrong with me? Could it be you? It's probably me. See that you see. What's wrong?
Okay, what the fuck? The Gretchen character in this is like really cringe and hard to watch and like sad. And I feel like they never resolve it really, and I hate it. Like, what the hell? It's really nothing to do with the music of this song. I really don't care about that. It's more just like what are they thinking with this character?
Can we talk about Heathers again, really briefly?
Yeah, sure.
That, much like this, has the three main popular girls and the one outside girl brought into that group.
Yes.
That is the basic premise of Heathers. It goes off the rails, but the musical Heathers takes big steps and moments to really highlight each of them and give them a part that is important. Like, one of them deals with the fact that she doesn't have value outside of where she stands, and she realizes that at any moment she can be pushed out, and because of that, she's like, her entire self-worth is based there. She describes it as being on a lifeboat and being ordered to jump off into the waters. And then the other Heather basically is trying to regain the reins after the first Heather dies horribly by suicide. Or suicide, big quotation marks. They each get moments to stand out. They explain what they want, what their fears are, and what their insecurities are. Here, Karen is too stupid to have a personality, and they try, they really do, and they do very badly at it. And Gretchen's personality is insecurity, and that is an entire personality trait. They're not multifaceted in any way that I know that the Heathers musical tried to make each of the Heathers.
Yeah, Karen's entire personality is just extremely dumb, kind of. And then there's the one moment where she's like, we should teach men not to do bad things, which is like peak liberal feminism right there. Teach men not to do bad things. Yeah, okay, that's the solution.
I mean, it kind of is, but also men don't listen, which is a whole different thing.
Maybe there's societal issues that we need to address that aren't just individual men do bad things.
Well, it's not even that we need to teach men. Well, the way you teach men is show that there's consequences for actions, which look at Brock Turner, like fucking walking
which
the
is
streets.
a societal
That is
problem.
the thing. Yes. I agree with you. I'm just reframing it in a way that I understand what you meant by that, but other people probably didn't.
Yeah, okay. You're right. And then Gretchen's entire personality summed up in this song is just, I hate myself, and that's why I'm with this horrible person that abuses me, which is just so sad.
Speaking of sad, let's talk about Someone Gets Hurt.
All right.
Yes, I look perfect. Ice queen, that's what you see. That's what they all expect from me. But it's all shit. Face it, you used me. You saw the sexy clothes, my supermodel pose. What did you know? Was I a game to you? Was I a way to be cool? I truly cared. Was I the fool? It's fine for you. It's fine to flirt. It's fine till someone gets hurt.
This is the one moment of they did this a little better than the movie that I am going to give credit for. In the movie, Regina George is basically a comedy antagonist. She's never really a threat. She is always kind of a goofy threat, where her representation of her character is always tongue-in-cheek and literally the boo you whore thing is a meme. And she is the most mean character in this, where this musical tries to reframe her as an actual threat and an actual person with emotions and a very serious person that has needs and doesn't like things being trampled over. And I think that comes out the most during this song, Someone Gets Hurt, when she finds out that Katie has a crush on her ex-boyfriend, and she's like, well, you don't give a shit about me, then I don't give a shit about you. Because before this, I actually do believe Regina kind of liked Katie and liked her, and this is where the turning point and when she becomes an antagonist.
Yeah.
This is one of those things where, in some ways, they really wanted to flesh out Regina and said, fuck everyone else. Everyone else, y'all are just what you were in the movie, if not less. But Regina, you're a character now.
Yeah.
You're a supervillain now, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool, except for she doesn't get very much time after this moment.
She gets one other big moment.
Yes, but it's not till near the very end, because the plot point from here on out is Katie decides that, oh, I'm too cool for my old friends, and then there's the breakup and just all that stuff. The most predictable garbage you've ever seen.
3-act structure. There's everyone's breaking up in this third act.
Oh my goodness, she got everything she wanted, but it turns out what she really wanted was the friends she made along the way.
I don't want to talk about any of his songs or anything like that, but can we talk briefly about the boyfriend character?
Yeah, can you call him a character?
No, you cannot. And this is where we're going to talk comparatively to Legally Blonde. Legally Blonde had a lot to do, but they also took the time to make sure that the love interest was someone you understood why someone would be interested in.
Yeah.
They took a very two-dimensional character from the film and fleshed him out a bit and made him a real walking, leaving
Whereas
person.
This is like, let's take the UPS man, and then he will be the only love interest.
And everyone's fighting over him. And the thing is, you see them fight over him, and I don't know any reason why anyone would want this guy.
Yeah, it's like he goes back to Regina for what reason? He didn't even mention that he liked her or anything.
She hot.
Simply does not make any sense.
Makes dollars, not cents.
Do you think they expected people to have already seen the movie and just thought like, oh, we don't have to worry about character development. They kind of already know who this Aaron Samuels guy is.
you see, that's an irresponsible way to go into any form of media, adaptation or not.
I agree completely.
Like, take a look at Beetlejuice. Everyone has seen Beetlejuice. Like, I'm willing to bet even Bree, you've seen that.
I've seen it.
But if you watch the musical of Beetlejuice, it's better than the movie, and they go
it's its own thing.
Go in a
it
different
is 100%
direction.
his own thing.
Like, I mean, I guess it's arguable to say it's better, but they go in their own direction that I personally like better, and I could see an argument for either one being better because they are different things. Whereas this is the movie on stage. Yeah. This one, some of the characters just don't even have anything going on. And I feel like I'm just missing aspects of it because I've not seen the movie.
Right. And I that's why I was very interested in what Andrew was thinking. I didn't want him to see the movie beforehand.
Like the teacher character, there's like that scene at the end where the teacher like forgives her. Is that a thing in the movie? Because the teacher doesn't like exist in this show except for that scene.
Guess who plays the teacher in the movie?
Do I have to actually guess? Is it Tina Fey?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Teacher.
Yeah, that's why her arc.
The teacher
exists.
doesn't exist in this, and the arc is literally the scene at the very end, and that's about it.
She likes math. That's her character, and she sees the potential and unrealized that. I don't fucking know. That character isn't a character. You're right.
Is the big math moment at the beginning where we realize that she's good at math, that she figures out that 48 over 100 is 48%?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's not even hard. Like, anyone should know that. Am I just good at math and I don't even realize it? Because I don't think so.
You know what? Maybe you're just really good at math, Andrew. Let's talk about the big bouncy one that everyone tried to make a hit, but no one really liked. And that is "I'd Rather Be Me."
I'd rather be me.
Do you even remember that song, Andrew?
We're supposed to all be ladies and be nurturing and care. Is that really fair? Boys get to fight, we have to share. Here's the way that turns out. We always understand how to slap someone down with our underhand. So here's my right finger to how girls should behave. 'Cause sometimes what's meant to break you makes you brave. So I will not act all innocent, I won't fake apologize. Let's just fight and then make up, not tell these lies. Let's call our damage even, clean the slate till it's like new. It's a new life for me, where I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me than be with you.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, I knew as soon as I said that you would be like, cringe.
I think I saw that actress do it on Jimmy Fallon. Did she sing that song? Yeah. Live.
I'll be honest.
They really tried hard to make that a hit.
I'll be honest, I kind of got a little bit...
They made a music video and everything.
I was a little bit distracted by the fact that this person, like, admitted to causing the problems and then is now, like, singing this song about how she's better than everyone else's problems. It's, like, that she caused.
And then everyone suddenly loves her. And I don't know if you've ever had it where the kind of socially awkward person tries to grandstand in front of class.
Is this the whole train clapped moment of the show? Like, or like, what is it? Like, that student was Albert Einstein or something like that, and then everyone claps.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, that's this moment. It's like, I got up on the desk and I said, "Fuck everybody," and then everybody else was like, "Yeah, you're right."
Anytime it ends with "and everyone applauded," you're like, yeah, that happened.
Yeah, you're right. Everybody did.
Where this is I was talking about how much I love Super Hulock and everyone laughed at me. Then the teacher said, "I love Super Hulock too," and showed us his Doctor Who planner, and then everyone applauded.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
no.
that happened.
It's like he's reading it directly from fucking Tumblr.
Circa 2008 Tumblr.
Oh my god.
So I think this is easily the worst attempt at a song. I think the song itself is fine. It's not the most offensive thing in there.
No. I mean, unless you're offended by
The most
flipping people
offensive
off.
thing in this show, honestly, is when Karen describes being a 13-year-old and sending nudes with her face not cropped out. Now they're all over the internet. I'm like, God, you had to talk about pedophilia somewhere, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they cut out the other pedophilia plot line, so I mean, you had to add a new one in, right?
You got to make sure you have your pedophilia representation.
You got to
in
get the
this.
quota.
Like, I'm surprised, as woke as Broadway claims to be, that something like this can thrive as much as it is, with, like, such offensive and mean... Like, it's mean. Like, I know the title is Mean Girls, but shit.
The reason that's in there, though, is so they can get the woke points, though, because that is the part where she follows it up with, we need to teach men not to do bad stuff. Do you remember that?
I remember that.
So that's why that's there, which is very sad, to be honest.
The thing is, I get what it's trying to say, but they're not understanding that the reason why men do bad stuff is because they get away with it. We need to change the systemic problems that make sure that they get away with it.
Yeah.
And that's on my mind a lot today, because we're recording this on the day of the fucking Brianna Taylor ruling, and I'm just so fucking pissed.
Yeah, that's fucking phenomenal. I'm surprised anyone got charged, though, to be honest. If I'm real.
Do you know what he's charged with, though?
He's charged with, like, what, disturbing the neighbors or something?
Yeah.
Yes!
It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's like, yeah, the gunshots, like, woke up the neighbors. That's a crime.
That's a huge middle finger to everything they stood for. And the mayor fucking, like, curfew, police action everywhere, no vacations, everyone's on duty now.
They, like, boarded up all the cities, recommended that people close down for the day. They gated the streets. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like they know that they're doing a bad thing and everyone will be pissed off, but instead of not doing the bad thing to make everyone pissed off, they're just
they do it anyway.
Yeah, they're just like, everyone hide because there's going to be angry people because we're about to do bad things.
God forbid we arrest one white police officer. Jesus Christ. But you know what they should do? That would just solve everything.
They should teach police officers not to do bad stuff.
No. You should just get up and you gotta raise your right finger.
God.
It'll fix everything. Just listen to Mean Girls.
Yeah.
If only it was that easy.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, Tina Fey says it's that easy, so...
I mean,
I hate Tina Fey now.
This show is single-handedly
I feel like I
solving
do that a lot
all
on
the
this.
problems. I mean, when that black girl comes up and she says, I'm prettier than Regina Williams. That right there. Systemic.
Regina Williams?
Whatever
What
her
the
fucking name is. Not Regina Williams. I'm sorry.
Regina George, you...
I'm sorry. That was mean. Not mean, because it wasn't intentional. Mean Girls. Oh my goodness. Cut that part. I'm going to do it again.
Okay.
I'm not going to do it again. I forget what I was going to say, to be honest.
You shouldn't cut that part.
I forget what I was going to say, to be honest.
Let's talk about I See Stars, the finale of the show that takes place on prom.
It's me and you, not us and her. 'Cause if we knew how strong we were, we'd say what we are. Stars. Say what you are. We're stars. You're a star. So many stars tonight. You could make diamonds fall. You are so beautiful. I see stars. We shine as bright as day. I will look out for you. We'll light each other's way. I see stars.
Who cares?
Boo, you whore.
No, I do want to talk about this because I hate the idea behind this song, where she was in Africa and she could see stars at night and everything, and then suddenly she was like, oh no, I see it in all the people around us. When I'm like, no, all your friends are fucking sadists. Everyone here is terrible. What are you talking about? Everyone deserves the prom crown. Honestly, the school should be fucking condemned and you all should be suspended.
Also, you can't see the stars because the corporations are polluting the sky so badly that you just can't see shit.
Know what you do to fix that?
Cast.
Raise your right finger.
Yep. Problem solved. Systemic issues solved.
Everything's solved because, one white girl decided that she was not going to take no shit no
Global
more.
warming, solved. Racism, solved.
We did it.
Just flip off everyone.
We did it. using our...
No, I'm willing to bet if you do that to a cop, everything will end great.
You'll see stars, all right.
Yikes.
On that note, what is everyone's thoughts on Mean Girls the Musical and their cheese rating?
You know, when we first started this show, we were like, let's stay out of politics, and
were we?
I think we at some point said that, and now we're at a point where we're not able to, and I'm sad about it a little bit. I hated this show, by the way.
Why did you hate it? Why didn't you like it?
The music is bland, and the story was way too predictable and uninspired, and there was a lot of just garbage political takes that I just did not enjoy. I'm just not a fan. I did not enjoy it.
Happy Halloween.
I'm sorry, everyone. If you like Mean Girls, fuck off.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Cheese rating.
Cheese rating? I'm gonna just fucking look it up on cheese.com.
Bree!
Yes.
What did you think of our discussion and your cheese rating?
Well, I would say your discussion was great. I hate Tina Fey now, so...
You liked her when we started this episode is the thing. You had a full transition.
Yeah, you know what? It was Jacob who made me kind of like her, because we would always watch 30 Rock when we would go to bed. And I was like, oh, I like 30 Rock.
Yeah.
Puts me to sleep. But, you know, she obviously has some issues in her writing, and Mean Girls the musical felt like a porn parody to me, so
oof. Fair enough.
I don't know what to give it for a cheese.
How about a porn parody?
I'm gonna give
cheese?
it Skimorza because it's a funny name and I like it.
We're putting a lot of effort into this, aren't we, Andrew?
I'm putting way too much effort into this.
Let's look up the worst cheese.
Oof.
Really, you're getting that far? I don't think I've ever went for the worst cheese.
No, there's worse shows than this, but I would say,
yeah.
as far as like why this show is bad, it's kind of similar to like Dear Evan Hansen. If you don't like,
I don't think it comes anywhere
no,
close to Dear
it
Evan
doesn't.
Hansen.
We're playing it up a little bit for entertainment, I think.
Is Dear Evan Hansen that bad?
Yes.
Really?
Dear Evan Hansen.
You should listen to our episode on
Dear
it.
Evan Hansen, like story wise, is. I don't know how it's popular, to be honest.
Okay.
Hey, Andrew, fun fact, we're going to have to revisit that next year because we got a movie coming out soon.
I don't want to. Do we have to?
Yes, Andrew, we have to.
Oh, God.
The fuck are you talking about? Of course we have to. We had to do Cats, so of course we have to do Dear Evan Hansen.
Dear Evan Hansen is not as fun to watch as Cats, so this is not going to be good.
But we can defend Connor's honor.
Yeah. Connor?
Either way, I didn't love Mean Girls. It is not a musical I would appreciate. I skip over any songs that come on my shuffle. I really do not enjoy the book, especially compared to like Legally Blonde, which is on the brains because we just recently covered that. This really isn't that great, and Heathers is just so much better. Heathers is so fucking fun and so good, and this is not. And I hate white people. So,
Jess,
in honor of Mean Girls, my cheese rating is whatever. I'm getting cheese fries.
Fair enough. That's a line from it. I remember that. We didn't even talk about how fucked up it is that part of the plot is just making this girl fat.
Yeah.
And then fat shaming her.
Yep.
Yeah. Fat shaming
Which
her.
I guess
I
they
don't know.
justify by like, oh well, she's mean to everybody, so. But it's like, what? No.
She had body dysphoria and then had to go to physical therapy after being hit by a bus and then got addicted to painkillers and eventually died a horrible death.
This is a high school student. Of course she's mean to everybody. Like, fuck off.
I think, Andrew, as we talked about in Heathers actually has a really good message about mean girls and mean people in high school, where it's like, yeah, they were mean, but maybe they'd grow up and they wouldn't be mean. And now we'll never know because they're dead, and that sucks.
Yeah.
It had an actual fucking thing it wanted to say about Mean Girls and Mean Girl culture.
Yeah, this one just hits them with a bus and then calls it a day.
And it's hilarious.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not saying Heathers handles violence against women and like death perfectly, but it handles it with some respect and has a thing to say about it. This has nothing to say except for remember Mean Girls? But you know who doesn't remember Mean Girls?
Our patrons don't
Our wonderful
don't remember
patrons!
Mean
Thank you
Girls?
guys for listening. Please follow us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, at Musicals with Cheese. Our Twitter is at Cheesy Musicals. Our Patreon is Musicals with Cheese. Our YouTube page is Musicals with Cheese. Our Instagram is Musicals with Cheese. We have a podcast on Patreon called Patreon with Cheese, where we're covering Fosse Verdon, probably. I think that's still going. Our email is musicaltheaterlives@gmail.com. Our title card was created by the amazing Jolene Casco. Go send her some love at Jolene Casco. This show is produced and edited by the absolutely incredible, the beautiful, the sweet, the kind, the absolutely wonderful Brianna Jones. Yay. Yeah, and thank you to the Broadway Podcast Network for letting us be on your platform and not kicking us off for talking shit about Mean Girls. And for all I know, there could be cast members of Mean Girls that are on the network. They could be. It wouldn't shock me. Yeah, probably. Do you guys have anything else left to say?
No.
You can't sit with us.
Don't sit with us.
Actually, I can't sit anywhere because I have hemorrhoids.
I have hemorrhoids. That's what the musical's about.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time on Musicals with Cheese. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me.
I'd rather be
me.
I'd rather
than
be
with you. Flip off the audience, because fuck you. You spend money
You
to come
spent
here. I hate
money
you
on
all. Mean Girls.